Today I want to talk about long distance relationships. The topic was motivated from one of my followers who sent me a message asking me what would happen to the relationship that I had with the guy that you see in most of my videos. If you go back in my video history and you check out some of the videos that I had in Uganda, you will see a very handsome locked brother with me pretty much in a lot of my videos. We're smiling and we're hanging out, going to the market and going on trips and things. Okay, so me and the guy are no longer together, and that's primarily because I personally do not like long distance relationships. I am a person that is always about spending time with my significant other and really building that relationship and that trust. And I can see if there was someone maybe a couple hours away, but in a completely different country, that's a little bit of a stretch for me. So let me just take you a little bit further back. Him and I met a few years back in the UAE when I was working close to Dubai, and we became such great friends. It was amazing. And he was just always a really, really good friend. He was very insightful, and he always had a lot of good suggestions for me in regards to my YouTube videos and in regards to my writing. And at the time, I had a jewelry business. So I always looked to him for creative input because he's really good at graphic design. He's really good at, those types of having that creative mindset. And he really cultivated that within me and helped bring out something in me that I couldn't see in myself. So I truly appreciated his friendship. When I moved to Uganda, I believe that he was sent there for a purpose, and it was a reason why he was there. I believe that God ordained certain relationships. He ordained certain connections on purpose. And when I got to Uganda, I was by myself. My son was not with me. I really didn't know anybody. I didn't know the language. I really didn't know the way of life and the culture. And it was really difficult for me in the beginning to try to adapt, especially as a female by myself. I'm from the States, so my accent gave it away. For the most part, I was treated fine, but coming there with an accent and looking a little different from everybody was a dead giveaway. And when he came, it was just as a visit, and we were just hanging out, had a great time, and I didn't realize how much help that being with a man would really be. He ended up helping me with different financial transactions at the markets, traveling with the language, with some of the cultural barriers that I was facing as a Black American on the continent. And so I truly appreciated that insight and his wisdom more than words. However, as I left Uganda, I had to realize that, all good things must come to an end. When I realized he was unable to join me here in the United States, and rightfully so, because his family and friends are still in Tanzania. He's Tanzanian, he's not Ugandan, just for the record. And so we had to make a decision. And although it would have been favorable to try to keep that going, but ideally, me being here and him being there, the connection definitely wouldn't be the same. However, we keep in touch, we talk all the time. He's still a really, really great friend of mine that I always cherish. But I definitely know he was there for a reason and a purpose. And I thank God for him. And I thank God for allowing me to have that companionship while I was there, because it helped my experience overall to a completely different height. So one of my reasons why I don't do long distance is one, there's just so many different complications with relationships as it is. And I'm just the kind of person that I like to build with people. I like to see them on a regular basis. I like to hang out, spend time, get to know them, get to build with them. And if you're, thousands of miles away or even in another state, it's really difficult for me. I know that there are some of you out there that are perfectly okay with long distance relationships, and you do you, that's you. But for me, I had to make that, decision. There was other things as well. As a Christian woman, as I'm developing my spirituality and getting closer in my relationship with the Most High, I also had to make some decisions about the lifestyle choices I was deciding to live, being around this man. And I know some of us want to relish in the pleasures of our flesh, especially when it comes to a man. And sometimes it's easier to entertain that when we're in the company of a man, as opposed to if we're in our solitude waiting on our husband. So I had to really make that decision if this guy is really meant for me in terms of being my husband. And if so, then some things need to stop. And if he's not, we definitely need to cut some ties in some areas in our relationship. And so that's another thing to consider. I mean, what are you doing right now, even if it's in a close relationship or a long distance relationship, that maybe you need to change, be able to adjust yourself to where God wants for you to be. And I like to throw those things in there because sometimes we just need a self-check. We need to sometimes really check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Girl, you know it. You know it. We can get in so much trouble trying to do things our way. And I had to really check myself in that relationship. Is this really aligned with what God's purpose is in my life? Was this intended just to be a friendship, or was this intended to be something else? Was now taking it to a completely different level, and you know what I mean. I think all these topics are very crucial, especially for single moms of color, because we are anxious and we are wanting to be married. We want to be in the company of a man, but we also have to go about and be aligned with what God's purpose is in our lives. And sometimes the decisions that we make are not aligned with his purpose, so we just need to be mindful about that. So I encourage you just to go with your gut, with your heart, to trust God, to pray, and to seek him and find him in all wisdom and truth in regards to the relationships that you pursue and the men that you allow into your life and around your children, and who you allow in your space and your mental capacity, if they're aligned with you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I mean, there's so many different factors you have to consider when dating, and then throwing in the long distance aspect of it. Is this somebody that you feel is a long-term companion? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Do you trust them? Do you have trust issues? Because if you have trust issues and somebody's, 3 states away, and you're beating yourself up every night wondering if this person's out cheating on you, you don't deserve that. You deserve better. Then that means that is just not the relationship for you. Because you should never feel that you have to compromise your happiness or your peace for anybody. So, in the meantime, in between time,